Well, good morning. I think it's still morning. Yep. I just wanted to do a video on explaining how this happened. If for the people that do care, don't mind the crap. Car's gotten unloaded 10 times. The truck's been unloaded 10 times for quick, unload it, need it. So, anyway, um, so before I show you the official carnage that I can see without ripping into it, I'll explain what happened. I was at a funeral on Saturday, and got done with the funeral, and there was a dinner at somebody's house. So I was following our buddy from church to this house because I had it pulled up on Google, sitting on my lap too, but I don't know. I just wasn't thinking and whatever. So we're coming down this way. And I suppose I should draw. Before this building, there was a road that goes along the backside of that building. Well, we missed this turn back here, so this was the next thing. And he slowed down here, waited for traffic. So did I. And I kind of swerved like I was gonna go around him, and that's what he thought I was gonna do. But then I was like, you know what? He's going to pull in there. I think he's going to pull in and park in a parking spot, back out, and come out. But it didn't work that way. He pulled in and pulled to about right here. And then I pulled in behind him because I figure, well, from here, I'll just do this number and come right back out because my car turns really good for being its size. And it didn't work out like that. He pulled in, stopped. I pulled in right behind him. Right behind him. I saw there was no traffic. Just boop, right there. Well, then he threw it in reverse. I saw that. I threw it in reverse. But for some reason, the car has a pretty long delay between whatever gear and reverse. It just second and a half, closer to 2 seconds, and then ka-thunk in reverse. Well, by the time I got it in reverse, I'm waiting for it to hit the gear. I should have hit the gas so it would have, moved fluid faster and got hopefully in reverse faster. I've had lots of time to think about this. It just pains me. The things you could have done different. He started backing up, and I figure he's got parking sensors. He'll see me in the mirrors. He'll see me, whatever. Well, he didn't. He got close, and I beeped at him. I figured he'll stop. Nope. Because the car still wasn't in reverse. Things happened that quick. It was pull in, he hits reverse, I hit reverse, but it didn't take, and it just, God dang it, Dale. So that's where we were, where his back right bumper hit the front left corner, and I was seriously hoping to just whoop, right back out, but no. There wasn't enough room to quickly turn and avoid and whatever, and it probably would have been the back quarter panel had I tried to do that, and then that would be even more costly and harder to repair and everything else. So I know the guy, we're good friends. It just was an accident on my part, his part. It was both our parts because I shouldn't have pulled in right behind him, but at the same time, I was like, you had parking sensors. But I know everybody turns them off. They hate parking sensors because they just beep at people. Well, they only beep most of the time when there's something behind you. Look. No backup camera on his. I was like, oh, dang it. There's just so many things. You've had lots of time to think. So lucky for me, the hood still opens. But unlucky for me, you can see intake tube is kinked and the radiator is pushed in. Luckily the fan isn't hitting. I am very surprised at that. But to be honest, and we'll close the hood for a second, because I showed you the little dings in the hood now that it's freaking filthier and filthy. The hood had its flaws in that area. Otherwise it was pretty well perfect. The fender had this little rust starting down here, needed to be touched up. Other than that, the fender was perfect. The bumper, obviously, that had its flaws. 100,000 miles, supposedly an older person driving, bing bong, crunch, smash, bang, whatever. That was probably in need of replacement. the headlight washer was missing the little flow nozzle, so it just shot a whole stream of fluid out instead of like mist like that one. Like it almost completely misses the headlight when it comes out. So that one needed to be replaced. That was about $50 on eBay, not including tax or shipping. But luckily everything's still here. It's just floating in there. This headlight was the good headlight that cleaned up brand new and didn't leak or anything like that. The chrome isn't fading. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this headlight. This headlight, on the other hand, you know, it's got the water poop inside and, you know, the sand on the inside of the lens, which it's going to be hard to pick that up. I mean, it cleaned up decent, but it's just the inside that's dirty. And then you can see the fading starting on the chrome there. Apparently, that's a common problem. But it's like, yeah, dang it. It's just the other side would have been a little more lenient. I don't know. But luckily, the fog light's intact, the corner light, the grill's semi-intact, scraped up, but if I had to, I could reuse it. Maybe give it a quick little touch of paint or something. Maybe paint it silver instead of this. I mean, the camera makes it look silver, but it's almost like a darker satin or something. I think silver might look a little better than satin. Anyway, wheel is undamaged. The fender liner was kind of touching. I tucked it back up inside, and it's a little kinked, but it'll straighten out. So I tried to straighten the hood out a little bit to try and help the hood close a little better. I waited till I got home before I even opened the hood because I was not sure if it was going to close, because I mean it was like crunched up inside there, and God dang it, it just sucks to look at this. But and then it was leaking washer fluid, and that's the first thing I saw was something dripping. I got down there and smelt it, and it was just washer fluid. I'm like, that's good, because I was like, there's no coolant over here, and where it was dripping, it was like over here, and I'm like, well, coolant's over here. There's nothing in this corner coolant related, so I was like, why would washer fluid and a washer nozzle maybe something or other something? Yeah, that's it. So. And then when I got home, I found out the air box was broken, which, least of my worries. Everything still works. Car runs great, drives great, straight, no problems in that department. It's just, it got smushed. But as you can see, this whole upper radiator support is going to need to be replaced. And I tell you, it is just so hard for me to leave things alone. I just want to get in here and I want to explore. I want to know what's messed up. Because it looks like this bracket here going down is going to have to be replaced because that's bent too. But I'm still waiting on insurance. And this is the hardest part for me because me working on my own vehicle, I don't trust anybody to touch my vehicle for nothing. I mean nothing. You know, it's just like it needs to go to a body shop, but can I trust them to get this perfect? I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Can they get it perfect? That's going to be the hard part. And for me to just sit and wait, because this happened on Saturday. I called them Saturday. They said, oh, they'll get back to you Monday with your agent. And I'm like, oh, but I want to know what's wrong. I want to be in there. I want to see. So that way when I, you know, if insurance calls or if I need to take it to a body shop, I can be, look, here, it's this, 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 and this, and this. Okay? Good to go. Just go write up an estimate. I can turn it in or something or other, because I do carry full coverage on this. I mean, I know it's not the most expensive car these days, but it is a nice car, and it does have some value. I don't know if I hit a deer or something like that, if it just, you know, messed the bumper, headlight, something like that, I could get that fixed, whatever. But just getting a little more in depth than I was hoping. But so upper radiator support's about $250-ish, depending. I found it cheaper, found it more expensive than that. So I guess it really depends, but unfortunately I think that's spot welded to the car. I don't believe that's bolted on, which is a huge, like, dang it, I could fix this myself if it weren't spot welded to the car. But I mean, it looks like it's bolted, but that's just the fender. This goes back to wherever, and this is I've got a picture of when I had the engine out of the car, because I pretty much had the whole front end off, the headlight, the bumper, and you could see straight in where the fender goes back to where it mounts up And I believe it's this hole right here, right behind the headlight. There's this hole, and I think that's what I'm seeing in my picture. And I believe that's where this upper radiator support goes, is up inside that hole. And I don't know how it's attached there because there's no bolt or anything. So it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to have this looked at and hopefully fixed. I mean, this is just such a semi-minor thing. This is not, you know, the whole front end smushed in, it's driving funny, you know, pulling one direction, you know, it's nothing like that. And the fact that the frame is perfectly straight there, and I hope that this frame rail over here is straight. Comparing it to the other side, it seems like it. It's just it's kinked right here, but that's the upper rad support. So, for me to sit back and not I'm kind of worrying, but trying not to. I'm trying to leave it in the Lord's hands. It's just, it is what it is. Just praying that this does not exceed the value of the car, and that they want to total it and then salvage it if I try to fix it. To me, having a salvage title is like having a dirty blanket on the car. I don't know why. I know it doesn't mean a whole lot with something semi-minor like this, but it does bug me. It would bug me severely to have a car with a salvage title when it was clean in my possession. God dang it, Dale. And, I had this thing dolled up to the nines, polished, waxed. I mean, it was pristine when that happened. And then, the dirt happened. I mean, it had to have been the dirtiest road in the entire state of Minnesota. Just pure silt. And you can just see, it coated absolutely everything, especially since the hood was crunched up. It just, oh my gosh, this was disgusting. You couldn't see a thing driving behind people on that road. Just pure silt. Yuck. So, that was like, when it rains, it pours. Was a perfectly clean car, was a perfectly straight car, and now it's not straight, and now it's not clean. First world problems, I understand, but it's still the concept. But, I was kind of looking at this, and I was kind of like, maybe, this was meant to be ish, because the hood's defects and the bumper defects, other than that, and the fender needing a touch up, other than that, those are like the only things that need to be fixed or repaired or whatever. And now it's gonna get fixed one way or the other. It's just gotta be. Just over 105,000 miles, and for an 05, and it's rust free in every way it counts, and it just too good to throw away. And that's what stung about my Seville. Granted, the body was starting to really kind of rust back where they're known to rust, behind the rear wheels. But there was, the interior of that car was immaculate. Original seat covers at 238,000 miles. Not a rip, not a tear, nothing. Interior was perfect. So much good about that car, and I ended up scrapping it. And that just hurt. Because, it was my first car. I worked hard to get that car. I appreciated the snot. I had so many miles of smiles in that car. And this one the same way. I mean, now that I deleted the mufflers, every time it fires up, it just sounds so incredibly good. And I tell you, it's already had lots of miles of smiles. So, I just want there to be more. They can't let this little smush ruin the fun. So, just praying it does not exceed the value of the car. And this is going through my insurance at the moment. I wanted to see what they would say. I did the little picture estimate thing. I'm waiting to hear, and I just don't know what. I don't like not being in the loop. I want to know right now. I want to, something is. Cars are important to me for some reason. I enjoy restoring cars. back to like new. Well, a new bumper is really going to change that. So, change the look of this car. Because, I mean, other than that, it's kind of ratty and tatty at the bottom. Paint's missing, cracked up, you know, hitting curbs and stuff. It just could stand a refresh. And, boy, it'll look brand spanking new at that point. So, I just can't wait to have like a brand new car again. Unfortunately, the fender's rubbing against the door. But, it is what it is. There's too much crap in here. But not horribly, but enough. And it's just right in the middle. It's nothing at the top or bottom. There's a gap there. So hopefully it's just the fender's a little bent and it is affecting the rear somehow without affecting the alignment of the kit caboodle. So either way, she's got to get fixed. She's too clean. There's too many good parts to just junk it. You know, that's not gonna happen. I've just put an engine in it. We're not junking it. I can tell you that much. So even though you open up the hood and it just doesn't look good, but it's just superficial. I think this is aluminum. I believe it's aluminum. I'm trying to find a light. Here we go. Got a magnetic light right here. Clean some crap off. Not that it matter. Okay, so it is steel, but it's thin steel, so it doesn't take much to bend that. So I know, I could probably pull it out, but the fact that it's, you know, crinkled, well, that's shortened its length, so it's just not gonna be the same. But I was actually debating. I don't know how that one fits on here, but I believe the STS V has a nice metal mesh grill, and I think that'll look pretty sweet, especially with the bottom being a metal mesh. I think that would be pretty doggone good looking on here, but I don't know if because the bumpers are a bit different with the turn signal fog light assembly. I don't know if the grill's going to be different, if it's just an entirely different bumper, and I don't want to get STSV turn signal stuff. I just want to leave it the way it is, but a different grill. So, but like I was saying, most of the stuff needed to be replaced anyway. That washer, the hood, fender needed to be touched up, or the hood needed to be touched up. You know, bumper needed to be done. The headlight was the only really good part that didn't need to be touched. No broken tabs, which I guess they're known for. So small stuff, but so anyway. So right now we're waiting to hear about the estimate from insurance from the pictures. See what they say. And if that doesn't turn up good result, then we're going to go to a body shop. And if that don't turn up a good result, then I'm going to try and go through his insurance. I know I should probably just go through his insurance, but here's the part. He's a buddy from church. That's just, I don't want to screw him over. It was kind of both our faults. But I don't want to jam him up by, you know, raising his rates and everything else. If I can just go through my insurance and just be done with it, that's kind of what I want to do. Because I shouldn't have been there. He should have been paying attention what was behind him and before he backed up. So there's that, in my mind, there's that dual fault. So had the transmission, I mean, this transmission bangs into drive, pops into drive real quick. I mean, it's like drive, boom, you know, there it goes, you know, but you go reverse, boom, you know, it just takes a while. It just wasn't enough time. So, god dang it, you know. So, anyway, that's just a rundown of what happened and how I'm planning on fixing this. And I already sourced a hood. I already sourced a fender. That's why I'm hoping insurance comes back with good numbers to work with. I already priced out about $1,500 in parts. That's before I included the upper rad support and the brace that's bent. And I don't know if this guy's going to be any good. It probably is, I would say. But an air box, that should be relatively cheap. The headlight's expensive. I mean, they're going on an average for $350. Yow. The hood, it's about $350. It's hopefully same color. It says grade A, who knows. And the fender, I think, was about $250-ish. So, and that's same color. I don't know about pinstripe. Like I said, I don't mind if I have to delete the pinstripe. It is what it is. But the bumper, source new, about a 175-ish, and getting 375 to have it painted. So, and then with the fog lights out, I'll sand and polish them so they look just as good as the headlights. So, they are dingy, foggy-ish. So, I just want her back, and she runs and drives just perfect. I mean, I could take it to town all day if I wanted, but till I hear from insurance, she's not going anywhere. So, don't fail me, insurance. So, anyway, I hope you guys are satisfied with that run through of the damage. Just pray with me it ain't that bad, because my goodness. I don't know what I'm going to do. The guy offered to pay for parts if I was going to go that route, but I don't think he knows how expensive parts are. And that's the sucky part, you know. Oh, yeah, 150 for hood, you know, $100 for a fender, you know, a couple $100 for a bumper, and $100 for a headlight. No. Multiply all that by like 3 or 4 for some dumb reason, just because it's got some plastic emblem on the front. You know, had it been a Chevy Cavalier, you know, it would have been $25 for fender, or $25 for the hood, $5 for the headlight, you know, something stupid like that. But these plastic emblems really screw you over in ways you don't really want. So, but no airbag, no lights, no codes, no nothing. Just drives perfect, runs perfect, doesn't overheat. I mean, I drove it a good... I was an hour away from home when it happened, so, and it was... I probably went a good 70, 80 miles after this happened, so, or more. Probably closer to 100, just because I went from the accident scene to the dinner, which is about 20 minutes, and then I went to my cousin's farm, which is about 20 minutes from there, and then I went all the way back home, which was another hour. So, you know, figure out the mileage from that a little bit. 80 to 100 miles, but I mean, no problems whatsoever. It just stings. I hate driving in a car that's all binged up. It just, people go, oh, look at that, what happened? And I don't like that attention. And I mean, there were 2 other friends in his truck when that happened, and it just, and then, you know, we got our other group of friends from home church, and it just was like, I know they're all going to be like, oh, what happened? I'm going to be like, oh, Lord, I hate that attention. Don't worry about it. We'll get it fixed. That's all that matters. So, it is what it is. We'll get her taken care of. So, like I said, hope y'all enjoyed the little rundown and semi-in-depth look. And obviously, I'll keep you guys in the loop of what's going on. So, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. Life happens, and just when and you know, I probably had a little too much pride in the car. Not really, though. I didn't think I did. I still don't think I did. You know, don't think I had that much pride in the car. It cleaned up beautiful for a $700 car. I got a screaming deal. It was straight as an arrow for $700, as much rust free as you can get for 100,000 Minnesota miles, and I just was ecstatic. That was about it. I wasn't rubbing it in, wasn't showing it off, you know, and most of the time the car was just as dirty as it is now, kind of, a little bit less, but being on a dirt road with a dirt driveway, it's hard to keep a car clean. I mean, the truck's always freaking filthy. I can't keep that clean. The minute you take it on the road, dirt. So that's everybody too, but dirt road, it just amplifies. So Friday and Saturday were the first days this sucker was cleaner than clean, and I was pretty happy about that, even though I knew it was going to rain and I knew it was going to be dirty. I didn't know about the dirt road. That was just like an extra kicker. I was like, frickin' A, you gotta be joking. And Friday, or is it Thursday? So it's Friday. I wanted to take this to a retirement party we were going to, and because my grandma hasn't even ridden in it yet. So, and I had it all dolled up, ready to go, and then my new rotors and pads showed up. So I threw the new rotors on the front, already put new pads on just because they were down to metal. Put the new rotors on, no problems. calipers weren't sticking, no overheating, nothing. I did the rears, put the new pads on because those were just about as bad as the front pads, and put new rotor on. Well, with the piston pushed in all the way, the caliper froze up on both sides. I was like, you've got to be kidding. I mean, it smoked my new rotors, and pads were smoking. I was like, you've got to be kidding. I went like a mile, and it was doing that. And so I got back. Didn't end up taking this to the retirement party. And then I was like, crap, I wanted to take this to the funeral for sure, 100%. And I mean, so I got it early, and I put the old pads and old rotors back on. I mean, I got home Friday after test driving it and it overheating, and I took my brake caliper tool and I moved that piston back and forth, pushed on the brake, got the piston out, pushed the piston in. I worked it in its rough spot lots and lots and lots of times on both sides to try and free it up, and it got a lot more free, but it was still locking up. But there wasn't a problem when the piston was all the way out with the crappy pads and rotors. So early the next morning, I put them on, the pistons were out, it didn't have a problem, it made it just fine. So I had ordered new calipers Friday, right? Yeah, new calipers on Friday. Rear ones at least. And then so that's the fun part. Got this, and then I got new calipers coming too. It's like, oh dang it, which is gonna get fixed first? So they're coming this Friday supposedly. Today's Monday. Anyway, the joys of life. So I should have just left the doggone calipers alone and taken the truck to the funeral, and I probably would have followed him near as close and in the parking lot there, and he definitely would have seen me, that's for sure. Car behind a truck, it's harder to see than a truck behind a truck. So should have just taken that, and the car would be absolutely perfectly fine, and it would be sitting here till this Friday when I put new calipers on it, and then it would be on the road again. So you know what I mean. It's freaking A. Your mind thinks of so many different ways you wish things would have gone down and happened, and I shoulda, coulda, woulda, whatever. It just is what it is. Kind of roll with the punches when they come. So now that's another 30-minute video. I love doing that somehow. But that's the whole story. There you go. Keep in touch, stay tuned, whatever. Thanks for watching. God bless.